folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another Sims Info and Thoughts video. So recently we did get that update that added Baby Yoda, some hairstyles for children and toddlers, some music, and a whole lot of bug fixes. But there was one particular thing in these patch notes for the bug fixes that got some people's attention, and it's that it's a possible hint towards improved babies. The said fix reads as, fixed an issue in which some Sims could stand on or walk through solid objects, specifically baby bassinets. Babies were becoming quite paranoid. They weren't actually Sims. When I first read that, I just took it as a joke because a lot of people like saying that the babies are objects in The Sims 4, and they pretty much are. Like, you just get them out of ByDebug and boom, you suddenly have a baby. It's kind of weird, because in the previous games, that's not how it was. The babies in The Sims 4 are tied pretty well to their bassinets, whereas in previous games, you could take them out of their bassinets and just take them around places and stuff. You could even put them in strollers in The Sims 3 if you own the Generations expansion pack. But so far that is not the case with The Sims 4, and a lot of people do want that to be changed. And ever since the beginning of the Sims franchise, they always focus so much more on adults than the other life stages. So I think it would be really great for that reason too, for babies to get some major improvements. But could these patch notes really be a hint at improved babies actually happening in the future? Well, I vaguely remembered one time that they did actually hint at the big Create a Sim update that happened back in June of 2016. I did some digging and it led me to this old article from Sims Community back in May of 2016 when a patch came out. So in the patch notes, there was something quite interesting where SimGuru Gnome said, here's to hoping your days are counted in Sim days, because then you'd get to live a lot of nanoseconds on average. I'm not going to read that whole number. But it turns out it was actually some sort of code where Mork discovered a deeper meaning, saying that it's a pretty basic code based on the alphabet, substitute letters for the numbers, and it translated to cast changes coming. And sure enough, less than a month later, we got that huge update that added all of those gender options, as well as the ability for a Sim to choose from any of the 6 voices in the game, and the masculine and feminine clothing tags. So if we did actually just get a hint towards improved babies this week, then it would not be the first time that patch notes hinted at something. But I think the major difference between the one that I just referenced and the patch notes from this week, it's a lot more of a deliberate hint in the one from 2016. Because it's like, okay, they went out of their way to put in that code into the patch notes, and it's like, oh, this time around, like I said earlier, I took it as a joke, and I think that might be the intention of it, so it's a lot more up to interpretation. It's not as blatant as the 2016 thing was. I'd be a lot more willing to believe that we were getting some sort of hint towards improved babies if something was found in the code that massively changed how babies work. I'm kind of surprised. We haven't really had much in terms of code leaks besides that thing about horses some months back. I guess they seem to have finally made sure that things don't leak out through the code anymore. Another thing I've seen people talking about is, oh, maybe the fact that Baby Yoda is in the update is a hint at improved babies because Baby Yoda is a baby. So that must mean that improved babies are coming somehow. No, I think that's a huge stretch. I think it is just more capitalizing on the Baby Yoda memes, and whoever worked on the Baby Yoda object was just like, oh my gosh, I love Baby Yoda so much, so I gotta have this in The Sims 4. I guess it is kind of funny that they included Baby Yoda in the same update as in its patch notes. It mentions the whole bassinets and, oh, babies being paranoid that they're not actually Sims, but I think that is a coincidence. But in case you were wondering if improved babies could possibly be the big surprise that's being revealed on Maxis Monthly next week, in case you missed the community post that I made in the community tab on my channel, no, SimGuru Frost said that it is not a baby update. Also, I gotta love how he words it exactly as a baby update, because if he said the baby update, then that would be a major hint that improved babies would be coming eventually. And speaking of that last big announcement for 2019, I'm even more confused as to what it could actually be, because I thought it was going to be some sort of free content update, but then we already got that this week, unless we're getting 2 in 1 month, because it was confirmed by SimGuru Frost at the end of July that now they are only going to be doing a Maxis Monthly live stream if they have free new content coming to the Sims 4 base game. If they don't, then they're just not going to do a Maxis Monthly that month. So it seems like there is still going to be one last feature coming to The Sims 4 before 2019 and, well, the 2010s decade ending. I don't know why they would bring out a huge update with a lot of fixes this week and then do another update potentially in the next week or two. Why not just consolidate that all into one update? Because if we are in fact getting another feature, then it's probably going to break even more things. I do hope we get another patch this month before Christmas, because this patch that we just got this week did break some things, because now shower tub combos don't properly raise hygiene, and I've seen reports of people's games being put into speed 3 and the pause button not working anymore for some reason. So yeah, they introduced a couple new problems even though they fixed hundreds. Of course, that's not really new. That even happened with the older Sims games sometimes. But still, those are pretty big issues that they should fix pretty quickly. Because especially for those who don't keep up online with all the latest bugs that have happened, they'll be really confused as to what's going on. And one other thing is that it was established a while back by the SimGurus that they have to release free content in the same quarter that they announce it. And I believe it was due to some sort of financial and legal reasoning. So if they do announce some sort of free content coming to The Sims 4 base game on Maxis Monthly on Monday, then, well, they have to actually release it this December, because if they wait until January or later, then that's already getting into the first quarter of the new year. Hopefully they are not breaking the established rule of if there's no new content coming to the base game, then they're not going to show anything. But at least there are 2 potentially mind-blowing things that we know will not be coming, because it has been confirmed multiple times that open worlds and open neighborhoods will not happen, because it's an architectural level change that they just can't do with The Sims 4. So if we ever get those things back, we'd have to wait for The Sims 5. Another thing we should not be expecting are color wheels, because SimGuru Lindsay did confirm before Cats and Dogs came out that they are not making creative style for Sims. The color wheel you see has been created exclusively for TS4 Cats and Dogs Create a Pet feature. She also said the color wheel hasn't been part of TS4 from the beginning. This may look similar, but is a different system built for pet coats. On a slightly more positive note, Create a World has not been put off the table yet, as SimGuru Grant has mentioned in the past how he would like to do Create a World. Last year there was a user named HasAPlumbob who made this really detailed PDF document about their ideas for how Create a World could be done for The Sims 4, and SimGuru Grant did say that they were actively discussing what a Create a World sort of experience would be like for The Sims 4. He also did say earlier this year that they wouldn't be doing a Create a World in the same way as they did with The Sims 3, but they have some ideas, and that's a significant undertaking that they would have to weigh against other options. It does seem like it would be pretty late to do this now, because now The Sims 4 has been out for over 5 years, but then again, it took us about 2 years to get toddlers, and then 4 years to get terrain editing. So hopefully we could get a creative world tool eventually, because I think that would open up the game so much more. Then we don't have to wait until a game pack or expansion pack for us to get a new world that will probably end up being pretty small anyways. And if this ended up being what was revealed on Maxis Monthly this Monday, that would definitely blow my mind. And that wraps up another Sims Info and Thoughts video, so feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you really think those patch notes are hinting at improved babies? And what do you think is going to be coming in the Maxis Monthly? And be sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with my latest content from The Sims, Sonic the Hedgehog, and more. So I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!